Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one. Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You remember that shitty old fallen apart building right next door to the hole in the wall inn?
Damn it. Damn it.
Yeah. About that.
Henry, look. I spent the happiest years of my life in this forge. It's such a shame to see the old place just left like that too. Henry! Stop that. Come on, we still have to go to the market.
Looking for something, lad?
I was just...
You won't find nothing here no more. Best move along.
Forgive me. It's just that I remember this forge from my childhood. When I was a boy, my pa, Martin, brought me here.
Wait, Martin? My husband had an apprentice called Martin. That was your pa?
He was my stepfather, but he raised me as his own.
That doesn't surprise me. Even as a lad, I could tell his heart was in the right place. How's he doing?
Unfortunately, he died.
I'm sorry to hear that. My God, Martin's adult son? Time really does fly.
He told me back then he spent the best years of his life here.
Aye, aye. Those were good times, true enough. What's your name, lad?
Henry.
I'm Magdalene. It's a pleasure, Henry. Care to come inside for a chat? I've a fresh pot of soup on the stove if you're hungry.
I can't refuse an offer like that.
Glad to hear it. Come with me, then. I'm glad you like it.
Just like Ma used to make.
Back when your pa used to apprentice here, my Skodder's forge was the finest in Kuttenberg. Only then out of the blue he fell ill and I lost him. Everything's been downhill since then. His apprentices left and the blacksmiths guild couldn't decide who to assign the forge to. Before they could make a decision, the forge's attic burnt down. I was visiting my sister in Visokar at the time. She's with the Lord now too, poor thing. I was left here all alone, on jointure. This room is the only one that stayed unscathed for the most part.
How did your husband get ill?
Out of the blue. He started coughing, got weak, then lay down, and never got up again. It wasn't the plague, but something nasty nonetheless.
I'm sorry to hear that.
What can you do? Such is life, lad.
Did Martin really not want to take over his own forge?
He was just a lad at the time, and taking over a forge is no easy feat. The guild has its own rules and who to assign it to.
How did the forge's attic burn down?
How do you think? Someone set it ablaze. Hard to say if it was just some brats or those good-for-nothings from the hole. That's the watering hole next door. But it doesn't matter now, they never caught anyone. All that came of it is that nobody's wanted the forge for 20 years. But look at me rambling on. I'm sure you're not interested in the rantings of some old crone.
I am interested.
It's kind of you to say that. I keep trying to explain to the guild that it's not a lost cause. We just need someone who will bring this place back up. But it's like talking to a stone wall year after year. The guildmasters are too worried about their own business to listen to me. But I'm convinced if we were to find a talented blacksmith, the workshop could be as beautiful as a chapel, like when my old Skoda used to run it.
I could be that blacksmith.
You're a blacksmith, like your pa? Christ, of course you are. I should have known. It only makes sense after all.
I can get my hands on some coin. And you're right, such a famous forge shouldn't be left to fall by the wayside.
If you were to take it over, that would be wonderful. Only you'll have to talk to the guild about it first. They make the rules. I reckon Master Bushek the Elder has the most common sense when it comes to this place. He might be able to help. He has an armourer's workshop in the town hall quarter. Hopefully he'll hear you out. But be warned, from what I know, the guild is careful not to let anyone that isn't from a blacksmithing family into their ranks. So don't mention Martin wasn't your birth father. It would only hurt your chances.
Thanks for the tip. I won't say a word. Thanks for the soup.
Good luck to you, Henry.
Welcome to the Legacy of the Forge DLC. So unlike the Brushes of Death DLC that we just completed, this, I mean, it has a story, but it's mostly about getting this place back on its feet. As you can see, there is some considerable amount of work that needs doing. Some of it, Henry will be able to manage himself, because he is a blacksmith after all. Most of it he won't. He's going to have to hire other tradesmen. I mean, look at the state of this place. Wait until you see what it's like upstairs where the fire broke out. I mean, the place is an absolute wreck. And it is going to cost a fortune to get this place restored and back in working order. And even then, it's not just as simple as spending 80,000 groschen on a building and setting up a forge and going into business. Because the businesses in a medieval town like Kuttenberg are all controlled by the trade guilds. Not a member of the guild, you don't get to work in the town. A country blacksmith can set up his own forge in his own shop, but not a city blacksmith. If you're not in the guild, you do not get to practice your trade in the city. So, well, before I start putting any money down, let's make sure I'm actually able to take over the forge. And that means making a good impression on the Kuttenberg Blacksmithing Guild. I'm probably going to get off to a decent start, because while they don't know me, they should remember my father, because he was an apprentice to Skoda, the blacksmith who previously ran the forge before he died. So I'm already halfway to making a good impression with the Kuttenberg Blacksmithing Guild. Let's just hope none of them recognise me from the wanted posters.
Welcome, good man. I'll be right with you.
Because I've robbed all of them at some point.
Greetings. What do you need?
Master Bushek,
Aye?
I'm Henry of Skalitz. I'm interested in Master Skoda's old burnt-down forge. I spoke to his widow, Magdalena, about it.
For Christ's sake. She didn't pull you in off the street, did she? The mad old crone?
Well, more or less.
Old age must be sad. All I can tell you about the forge is the same thing I tell Magdalena when she bothers me about it. Even getting the building back into its original state would mean pouring a fortune into it.
I take care of the money.
Aye, but only a member of the Kuttenberg Blacksmiths Guild can work the trade around here. And you're not a member.
Could I join the guild?
It's not that simple. The guild is a private society made up of Kuttenberg burghers, and the other masters aren't too trusting when it comes to outsiders. So I reckon they won't be too keen on the idea.
How could I convince them?
That's hard to say. But maybe you'll make a good impression. But first, you'll be required to meet 3 conditions.
Which are?
First, you have to come from a respectable family. Second, you have to have blacksmithing experience. And third, you'll have to compete the guild's trial. Tell me, blacksmith, what sort of family do you come from? And what's your work experience?
Not only do I come from a respectable family, but a blacksmith's family too. You probably knew my father.
Oh? Oh, where would I know him from?
From here. His name was Martin, and he used to be old Skoda's apprentice.
Wait, Martin? Your pa is Frisky Martin?
Frisky?
Aye, of course, Frisky. We used to call him that because, well, that doesn't matter. How's he doing these days?
I'm afraid he's no longer with us. He was killed during the raid on Skalitz.
Christ. I'm very sorry to hear that. When I knew him, he seemed like a good bloke and quite a talented swordsmith. Some of the masters were good friends of his. They were the same age at that time. To tell you the truth, that will likely affect your chances as a contender. As Frisky's son, you'll have a great opportunity to make an impression. So you'd better make the most of it.
Well, as far as experience, I helped at my father's forge. We made a sword for Sir Radzig Cobbler of Dvorets together.
Kobila, eh? The royal hetman. Is there any way for you to prove it?
I have the sword here. Would you like to see it?
No need. I'll trust you. But if the other masters happen to ask, be ready for anything. It seems answering questions about your family and experience won't give you trouble. Now for the most important part. Are you ready for the guild trial?
What does the guild trial involve?
The guild trial consists of a verbal exam and a practical exam. First, you'll have to answer a few tricky questions from my colleagues. And after that, you'll forge a sword to the best of your abilities right before their eyes. Of course, the trial comes at a small fee for each try. Well then, do you feel up to it?
I'm ready.
Great. But I'm afraid we're not. It will take some time to get things ready. We'll meet tomorrow at noon below the astronomical clock on the square. I'll take you to the guild forge where the trial will take place. I should also mention there will be a verbal exam. And if you can read, I have an excellent handbook here. It's called On Blacksmithing. And it contains all the basics my colleagues may test you on. I'd be happy to sell it to you for a small fee. And one more thing. If you'd like, you can wait for the trial here. Just say the word.
I'd like to buy the handbook.
Here it is. Enjoy your studies.
I'd like to wait here for the trial.
Very well then. We have plenty of room.
Talk about getting thrown in at the deep end. And yes, the Kuttenberg town clock, which is going to feature prominently in this DLC.
Should we get going?
I believe it's high time. Don't even bother looking at that old clock of ours. It's been stuck for 30 years. It seems all the other masters are looking forward to what Frisky's son can do. You'd better make a good impression. Come now, the guild forge isn't far. We'll just pass through the lower market and we're there. Did you get a chance to study the handbook?
Actually, no, not yet.
I'm afraid not.
You youngsters. Leaving it to chance, are you? Mind if I test your knowledge a bit along the way? Are sparks a good sign while forging?
Yes, they're a good sign.
I'm afraid not. It was a trick question. If sparks fly while you're hammering, it's a good sign. Whereas if you're heating the workpiece, it's a bad one. I have one more question for you. How can you tell you're making progress while forging?
While actually forging, it changes shape.
The workpiece changes shape.
That's right. The longer you forge, the closer your workpiece resembles the finished product. At least you got this one right. I reckon it wouldn't hurt to take another peek in the handbook before the trial. A good blacksmith should never stop learning. That too is important to our guild. I have a number of designs at my armor smithy that I collected on my travels throughout the kingdom. It's quite a unique collection. And the best part is, I'm happy to share it with others. Stop by any time, learn to make something new. Your customers will surely appreciate it, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Your trial still awaits. Just a little further now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the chance of actually looking at this handbook. I mean, I paid 200 groschen for it. Yeah, alright, 200 groschen is nothing at this stage. But still, there's guaranteed to be stuff in there I'm going to need to know in order to pass the verbal examination. So, I hope it's going to give me a chance to actually do it before I start the trial.
Shall we begin?
Shit, this is it. Not just yet. Just give me 2 minutes. Here it is. Let's get this looked at. On the blacksmith's craft, it's called the black art. Not because of any witchcraft or anything, but iron is black. That's why blacksmithing was called the black art.
Show us what you've got, lad.
So I am guessing that the stuff highlighted in red is the important stuff that might be asked during the trial. I'm also guessing I'm going to have to remember this because I'm probably not going to be allowed to refer to the book in the middle of the exam.
I'm ready. We can begin.
Honored friends, masters of the Blacksmiths Guild, let me introduce the newest adept of the Master's Trial, Henry of Skalitz.
So, this is old Frisky's lad. I can hardly believe it.
Aber I do not see much of a resemblance.
Vielleicht ein wenig.
I do not see it.
Aye, aye. Frisky here, Frisky there. All that talk about not taking in outsiders, and now you've gone and flipped it all around. Martin was a good bloke and an excellent swordsmith. If Henry here is anything like him, he'd be a welcome addition to the guild.
Genau, genau.
Look, I didn't know this Frisky fella of yours. I'm more interested to see what the lad can do than who his pa was.
We'll see what he can do shortly. Just to be clear, let me repeat what the trial entails. In the first part, the verbal examination, he will receive 3 questions. He must answer all 3 of them correctly in order to pass. If he makes a single mistake, this part of the exam is considered failed, and he won't get a chance to correct himself. After the verbal examination comes the practical one, where our adept skills will be tested.
And if he is successful, he'll become one of us.
Let's begin with the first part of the trial. Who would like to ask Henry the first question?
What's the final step before completing a piece?
Quenching it? Yes.
Quenching the workpiece in a barrel.
Correct?
Richtig.
Let's move on to the second.
Say, Heinrich, how can you tell you have made progress on your workpiece?
By the shape.
By the shape.
That's right.
Correct.
Last question.
Tell me, mein Anhänger, what is the Farbe of a correct heated workpiece?
What is the... Oh, he means the colour. Straw yellow.
Straw yellow.
That's correct.
Wunderbar.
You answered all 3 questions correctly. Now, just to complete the practical exam, Henry, your task will be to forge a guild sword right in front of our eyes. Here's the design for it, as well as the materials. I'm sure you know what to do with them.
Viel Glück. Let's see what you can do, young Frisky. Let's see, then.
Well, it turns out the verbal exam isn't that difficult. Well, it's not that difficult if you have actually done any blacksmithing in the game, which I have. And they're asking me to make a guild sword, which again isn't that difficult. I mean, swords in general are not that hard to make in this game. If they'd asked me to make a horseshoe, I'd be in the shit, because those things are a pain in the arse. You are, of course, under the additional pressure of forging a sword for an audience, but there's just a couple of things that you need to remember and you'll be fine. It doesn't have to be the greatest possible quality, although you should be trying to make it to the highest standard that you can, but it doesn't have to be. It just can't be a bad sword. So don't overheat it. It needs to be a straw yellow colour when you bring it to the anvil for hammering. You don't want it white hot or the metal is going to start burning and sparking, and that's a bad sign. Hammer it evenly, don't just focus all your blows in one spot. Keep moving the workpiece up and down the anvil. If you see sparks coming, that's a very, very good sign. Don't focus on one side exclusively. Turn it over every now and then. Just keep the workpiece moving and keep the hammering going at a steady pace. Don't let it cool down and get too cold. Get it back to the forge and reheat it back to that straw yellow colour. Just keep repeating this process. And it's actually kind of difficult to screw it up as long as you're just following these simple instructions. Which, of course, if you've done any blacksmithing in this game at all, you'll already be familiar with. Now for the moment of truth, it's complete. So heat it up again, quench it, and then find out what sort of quality level we've achieved. I know it's not going to be my best work, but it should be pretty good. I think gold standard or higher will be acceptable. Bronze definitely not. Silver, dunno, maybe, we'll see.
What's next?
And yeah, okay, we're good. Yeah, this will do. At least I hope so.
All done.
Let's see what you made. Excellent, Henry. Good work. I'm glad you didn't disappoint. Honored friends, masters of the Blacksmiths Guild, Henry of Skalitz has successfully completed the trial. Let us head for the guild hall for the acceptance ceremony.
Woohoo! I'm in. Wasn't that hard.
After successfully fulfilling all requirements, I'm proud to announce our guild has grown by a new member. Approach Henry of Skalitz. Kneel. Swear for the first time on your honor and by God Almighty that you will defend the interests of the Blacksmiths Guild of Kuttenberg.
I swear.
Swear for the second time that you will protect all secrets entrusted to you by the Guild.
I swear.
And swear for the third time that you will always act honestly and God-fearingly to spread the esteem of our guild among the people.
I swear.
Now hang your guild sword next to those of the other masters. Go on,
Not that
do it.
hard, is it?
Welcome to the guild, Henry. It's now up to you to say a few words.
Oh shit. Well, unaccustomed though I am to public speaking,
I'm following in my father's footsteps. Even as a lad, when I watched him by the forge, I wanted to be just like him. A real master blacksmith. Today, thanks to you, my dream has come true. And here in Kuttenberg, where Pa spent the best years of his life, I like to think he'd be proud of me.
He would be, without a doubt. In any case, from this day forward, Henry is to take over Skoda's forge and repair it. He therefore acquires the right to use it with one obligation, and that is the accommodation of the widow Magdalena. The guild rents her jointure after the death of her husband. That would be your responsibility now, Henry.
That won't be for much longer anyway.
what a fucking horrible thing to say.
She's a kind woman. I'll be happy to help her.
We'll see about that once she goes poking her nose into everything at the forge.
It sounds like you have your work cut out for you, Henry. But like all hard work, the results will surely be worth it. The ceremony is now over.
What are we
told
going
you
to
to
do
take
about
it.
the gold plate?
Right, so at least one member of the guild is a complete dick. However, it's not just as simple as pouring money into the forge. A lot of the forge upgrades are locked behind your prestige level, so you have to basically earn status within the blacksmithing guild. And to that end, well, first I'm going to need to actually get to the forge and start things going. But as soon as I do that, daily blacksmithing quests are going to start appearing on the map around Kuttenberg. And as my fame and prestige and reputation spreads, people are going to start coming to the forge with commissions for me. It is going to be an incredibly expensive process, however. So, I keep going on about how I have like 80,000 groschen. It's not going to last long in this expansion. It's not going to last long at all. You can see that there are people working on the building next door, but that's nothing to do with me. This is now my forge, and I'm responsible for repairing it and getting everything back up and running as a viable business.
Good news. I gained the right to use the forge.
Wonderful. Finally, we can make some progress here. I'm just worried that once you see the mess inside, you'll turn on your heel and run.
It's that bad, is it?
Why would I run?
I'm just joking. But make no mistake, you're in for some hard work. The house will have to be cleared out first before you can do anything else. The forge, as well as the floor above. Clear the rubble, put it in sacks, take it outside to the wagon, pick up the things laying around, sweep the floors. There's much to do, and I'm afraid I won't be of much help. My back isn't what it used to be. One bad move and I'll stay hunched over like an old crone.
I'm sure I can manage.
I hope so. Looks like you have some strong hands and that you're not all thumbs. But first you'll have to get inside. The entrance from the street is blocked. A beam collapsed.
I'll figure it out.
I'm wondering just exactly how bad it is going to be on the inside, because it's pretty terrible from the outside. Let's take a quick look.
Open this gate from the other side.
Yeah, I know I have to open it from the other side, but yeah. This place is a right old mess. So that's the forge apparently, but I can't get in from here. So, kitchen. Yeah, this place has seen better days. Wow. This is an absolute wreck. Holy shit, I've got some work. So this is where Magdalena lives. It's the only intact room in the entire place. Let's have a look upstairs. I mean, how bad can it be, right? Oh, we have a chicken coop. Oh, that's good. It's a start. Oh, it's locked. What do you mean it's locked? I own this place. Fine, whatever.
I wonder what's in store for me here.
It's not too bad, I suppose. Could be worse. What's going on in here? Oh, shit.
This looks like it was an apprentice's room.
Wait, there's not stuff still. I mean, it's been 30 years. There's still stuff inside this chest. There is. It's completely worthless, of course. I'm just surprised there was anything still in there. So there's room for an apprentice. So that's good. Which probably means I might end up having to take on an apprentice. That would be, oh my god, look at the state of this place. Right, well, there's a lot of back-breaking labour that needs to be done before I can even start spending money on this place. There's an entire house full of junk, rubble and rubbish that needs to be cleaned up, sorted into sacks and taken out to the cart. So I'm going to be here for quite some time. None of it's going to be particularly interesting to watch. So why don't I just skip to the end? So that's the upstairs cleaned up and half a ton of rubble removed, one sack at a time. Oh my god, that's the state of the forge. Let's not forget the whole place doesn't even have a roof either. So I need to unblock the entrance here. Do I need the spade for that? Or can I just... No, I can just press E and unblock the entrance. So, this is going to allow me access to the actual forge. And then I... Wow. This is 30 years of neglect for you. Well, now I've got to do the same down here as I just did upstairs. And once again, it's not going to be amazingly interesting to watch, so once again, I'm just going to skip to the end. And while sweeping up the last piece of rubbish in the forge...
What's this? It has Martin's mark on it. I'll have to ask Magdalena.
Henry finds something. Some kind of design. Some kind of design that was created by his father, Martin, when he was an apprentice here. Magdalena's husband. Yeah, the forge looks way better now that I've cleaned it out. I mean, that place is still a shithole, but nobody works, eats or sleeps in there, so I don't really care. Now to give Magdalena the good news.
My word, you really are a handy lad. And hard-working too. I like to see that. You see this, Skoda? Your forge is finally in good hands.
I found this. The mark Martin used to use is on it. Do you know what it could be?
Aye, that looks like one of the sketches for that grand project of theirs. They always met up in the evenings after work. All hush-hush, and over something so silly, no less.
Why did they meet up?
Because of the broken astronomical clock on the Rathaus Tower. Back then, the city officials decided they wanted it fixed, so they asked the masters of the guild to propose a solution. Your pa got all excited about it, then got my old Skoda involved, along with that other apprentice that was here. What was his name? Such a timid, quiet lad. Sakura. Oh, I can't recall, but I remember they did some work on it, but the city ended up changing its mind.
What happened?
They brought in some Italians, all the way from Padua or whatever it's called. And how do you think that turned out?
They messed it up?
It was a terrible disgrace. The Italians ended up running off along with the money. There was no money left for the repairs, and there still isn't. So the clock is still broken. I remember when it still used to chime. But what can you do? Better to discuss what you want to do with this place.
I want to get the forge running again.
All right then. Come, I'll show you something. This was Skoda's table. He was always sketching something, planning repairs. He could stand here for hours. It was his favourite spot. And now it's yours.
It's an honor.
I think there's just one thing left to do. You have to put up a shop sign. So your customers know where to go, right? Have a look at the plans here.
Aside from actually, well, blacksmithing, this planning table is going to be the heart of your operations here at your new forge. It's here where you can plan and pay for upgrades. Here's the building table. There are basically three areas: the house, the chamber, and the garden. As you're looking at things that you want to improve and repair, anything marked with a star indicates a new item that you can actually now acquire or build or repair. Anything marked with a padlock, like for example the wall decoration there, is something that we don't yet have access to, because we haven't yet acquired enough blacksmithing prestige in order to unlock it. The whole daily quest thing and accepting commissions from people in the city. So you can see the kind of upgrades that you will eventually unlock, and the number next to them is the prestige level that you have to attain in order to unlock that particular upgrade. So at the moment, with a prestige level of 1, there's basically nothing that we can do. Even with 87,989 groschen in our pocket, there's bugger all that we can currently do to improve my chambers, the place where I sleep. We've got useless junk stacked up in the corner. All of these things actually have purposes. I mean, not the useless junk, but the things that you can replace them with. They actually have effects. They're not just purely cosmetic in most cases. You can see here all the crap in the garden that I can't afford to well, I can afford, but I don't have the ability to repair or upgrade. Ruined workshop, for example, the old gate. But over here is the actual structure itself. I need to put up a shop sign. At the moment, with the prestige level of 1, there are very, very few things that I can actually do. But I can put a sign up to let everybody know that the old forge is now back up for business. And doing that has actually improved my prestige to level 2, which means now I can repair the damaged roof, which does seem like a very, very good place to start. I've got 3 options. They're all pretty expensive, although the thatched roof in ochre is slightly more expensive, and honestly doesn't seem particularly necessary, I guess just because they use an ochre to colour the thatch rather than just the natural thatch colour. Prestige level 2 has also unlocked the ability to make some improvements to my sleeping chambers, like a decent bed that isn't going to just collapse the second I plonk my fat ass down on it. Can also replace that shitty old chest. It's only 85 groschen. And now I have a stash at the forge. Can replace the table. That's pretty much it for my chambers. And I still can't do anything about the garden. So, I need to go and talk to Magdalena about the improvements that I've made. But let's go and take a look at the actual improvements that we've made, because it's all well and good seeing them on the planning table, but nothing compares to actually seeing the results of your work. Well, it's not my work, I didn't repair the roof, I just paid for somebody to do it, but, I mean, let's go and take a look. Let's check out upstairs. Just remember how bare my chambers were. So I've replaced the bed, the table, and the chest. Still nothing in the apprentice's room. And it's looking better. I mean, it's not looking a lot better, but it's not quite the shithole it was half an hour ago. And more importantly, now I've got my stash with all my stuff. Actually, even more important than that is the fact that I now actually have a roof over my head. Which is fairly important, I'm sure you'll agree. And the whole place no longer looks like a crumbling ruin, although there are still plenty of improvements to be made. But I now have a working forge. I can now start, well, being a blacksmith. Just like my old pa Martin. Speaking of whom, maybe at some point, we'll actually figure out exactly what the hell this contraption is that he was working on all those years ago when he was here serving out his apprenticeship. That, and plenty more to come in future episodes. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.